Where am I? A soft voice whispered, delicate fingers rubbing at her onyx eyes. As she sat up, dark silky hair slipped down her shoulders, flowing past her waist like a curtain. Every movement was instinctively graceful, polished from years of shinobi discipline. Her eyes suddenly flared crimson, and in an instant, her vision turned into a familiar white world. Konoha, she murmured, hope and confusion threading her voice. A sharp pain struck her head, and visions, memories of a life both past and not yet lived, flashed through her mind. Sasuke, she cried, reaching into empty air, hands trembling as though desperate to grasp someone no longer there. Her body gave out, collapsing into unconsciousness. The quiet room erupted with noise as hurried footsteps echoed closer. A servant burst inside, panicked eyes darting to the fallen figure. "Itachi-sama, what happened?" he shouted before realizing her motionless state. "Someone, help, Itachi-sama has collapsed." His cries stirred chaos across the vast Uchiha compound. Far away, on a broken bed with springs jutting out, a certain blonde boy snored without care. Suddenly, he shot up, cursing like a sailor, startling his assigned ANBU guard enough to make him snap his book shut. The blonde was none other than Uzumaki Naruto, the vessel of the nine-tailed fox. "Man, that was the weirdest dream ever," Naruto muttered, scratching his messy hair. "A three-eyed rabbit goddess, me and team being best buds. What kinda crap did I eat last night?" He flopped back onto the bed dramatically. The ANBU gave him a side glance before returning to his well-loved novel. But Naruto's mind drifted elsewhere, straight into the seal where the massive Kyuubi awaited. "Kyuubi, why am I here? Why are you here?" Naruto blurted in panic. "Shut it, brat." The fox's booming voice rattled the walls of the seal. "Why the hell am I back in this damned prison?" Naruto blinked in shock. "Wait, what? Aren't you supposed to be dead?" Kurama growled. "Don't act dumb, Kit." Naruto sighed, sitting down with a slump. "Man, I wish this was just a dream. I wonder how Sasuke and Sakura are. What if they got killed by that rabbit woman? What the hell am I supposed to do?" His voice grew louder as panic rose, pacing around in circles. "Enough, fool!" Kurama's roar knocked Naruto flat. "Whatever Kaguya tried to pull, I doubt she meant to send us back to the past. Seems the heavens tossed you a second chance, brat." Naruto's eyes widened, then softened with determination. "So we've got to plan. We need to stay hidden, get stronger, and crush Akatsuki before they even start, right?" A sharp-toothed grin spread across the fox's muzzle. "Exactly." Naruto clenched his fists. "Right, Databeo, this time I'll save everyone, Jiji, Haku, Zabuza, Iro Sennin, everyone." He rambled on, excitement spilling out, while Kurama simply curled up and went back to sleep. The next morning, Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, Naruto yelled, trying for what felt like the 100th attempt. Each failed clone fizzled or twisted oddly, much to Kurama's amusement inside his head. "Oi, Naruto. That one looked like it was about to puke. Ha ha ha, and what the hell's with its head?" Kurama laughed, his voice echoing with cruel delight. "Shut it already, Kurama. Why can't I get this right?" Naruto snapped in irritation, sweat dripping down his forehead. Kurama smirked. "Did you even bother checking your age, idiot? You're 4 years old. This body has zero training with chakra control." His laughter thundered again. Naruto froze, processing the words, then collapsed dramatically as if struck by lightning. His ANBU guard rushed in at the noise, saw Naruto unconscious, and immediately panicked, sending him straight to the hospital. Meanwhile, with Itachi, "Doctor, explain why my daughter collapsed. She is a healthy kunoichi, there should be no reason for this," Fugaku demanded, his voice sharp and commanding. Itachi stirred awake, blinking at the sight of her father. Her breath caught. He should be long dead, not standing here in his prime. Before the doctor could respond, another shinobi burst into the room shouting frantically about Naruto being found unconscious. With no signs of injury or poison, the incident baffled him. He rushed away, leaving Fugaku and Itachi behind. Itachi slipped quietly out, intercepting a nurse to ask about Naruto's condition. "Oh, the demon brat," the nurse sneered. "Good riddance if he's dead. Should have been beaten first, though. His body's in room A12, though why anyone would bother saving that thing, I don't know." Itachi's eyes bled crimson. "Tsukiyomi," she whispered coldly. For 72 hours in the illusion, the nurse was forced to endure Naruto's suffering of the past 4 years. When Itachi ended the technique, she left the broken woman unconscious in a bathroom corner. Slipping into Naruto's room, she found him awake but distant, clearly distracted by something unseen. He greeted her politely, which only made her narrow her eyes. In a flash, she appeared behind him, kunai pressed against his throat. "Where is Naruto? Speak, or I'll cut you down," she demanded. Naruto panicked. What are you talking about, lady? I am Naruto." "Impossible. Naruto Uzumaki is a loud, hyperactive child. He despises hospitals and would never greet politely. You're not him." Naruto gulped. "Maybe that kid went through a war and came back different, yeah." Her grip loosened slightly, surprise flickering in her eyes before her face returned to stoicism. "War a 4-year-old? Impossible. Yet he's not lying." "You are Naruto, but not the same," she finally said, withdrawing. With a faint smirk, she dissolved into crows, leaving only a note behind. "Stop calling my brother a team." Naruto stared, jaw unhinged. "How did she know?" he shouted, his voice echoing through the halls, while somewhere outside, Itachi smirked to herself. The following day, "All right, Naruto, you're free to go. Nothing unusual showed up, but stay cautious," the doctor advised. "Thanks, Yashimaru-san," Naruto chirped before bolting out. He ignored the hateful glares of villagers and dashed to the Hawkage Tower, storming past the secretary into the office. "Oi, old man, I want to join the academy," Naruto yelled, nearly slipping and calling him Ba-chan. Hiruzen raised an eyebrow. "Naruto, you're only 4, you should wait until 6. But Jiji, the ninjas are so cool, they can climb walls without even using their hands." "I want to do that too," Naruto insisted, putting on his best eager grin. The Hawkage chuckled warmly, ruffling his hair despite Naruto swatting at his hand. "I can't let you enroll this early, but I can arrange someone to teach you the basics." "Would that be good enough?" Naruto's grin widened. "You bet, Jiji, I'll be the greatest ninja ever, Dadabayo." "Then start with patience," Hiruzen sighed, groaning at the paperwork mountain behind him. 3 years later, Naruto age 7, Itachi age 12, "Class, we have a new student," the teacher announced. "Uzumaki Naruto, though only 7, he joins us by Hokage's recommendation." Naruto stood at the front with his trademark grin. "Ohio, I'm Uzumaki Naruto." Whispers buzzed across the room, none quiet enough to escape his sharp ears. The teacher pointed him toward the window seat in the back corner. Naruto walked over, still smiling, though deep down he braced himself for the long road ahead. With Itachi, Chunin Itachi was returning to Konoha from a long escort mission with her squad. After almost 12 hours on the road, the team stopped by a quiet riverbank to eat and rest before the final stretch home. While her teammates busied themselves, Itachi sat cross-legged at the edge of the water, eyes shut, sharpening her awareness. Without opening her eyes, she called out evenly, "Come out, I know you're there." A low chuckle came from behind a tree as a figure stepped forward. "As expected from the famous Uchiha prodigy," the man said, his tone laced with amusement. Itachi rose smoothly to her feet and turned to face him, expression calm and unreadable. The stranger's swirling orange mask and standard shinobi garb hid much of his appearance, but his build and presence gave away that he was no ordinary ninja. She clicked her tongue, a new habit she'd picked up from a certain blonde, and asked flatly, "State your purpose." "You've awakened your Sharingan at 8 years old, mastered it in under a year, and excelled in countless other skills," the masked man said. "Yet you've only scratched the surface of your true power. With my guidance, you could surpass every limit. I came to offer you training." "What's the cost?" she asked, one brow arching. "How perceptive, Itachi-chan," he replied with a smirk in his voice. "Yes, there's a condition. Join my secret organization, Akatsuki, and every ounce of power you desire will be yours." Itachi's eyes narrowed. She could sense his confidence, his assumption she'd say yes. "And that would mean abandoning Konoha?" she asked. "Naturally, high-level training can't be conducted inside a village like Konoha," the masked man said easily. "I'm not interested," she said calmly, vanishing with a flicker of speed. The man blinked, then chuckled darkly to himself. "You'll join me eventually, whether you realize it or not." And with that, he disappeared into nothingness. Itachi, where were you?" her squad leader, Yazuki, asked briskly when she rejoined them. "Apologies, Yazuki Teicho," Itachi said with a polite bow. "An unknown shinobi tried to lure me away from Konoha with promises of power." "You refused, I assume?" Yazuki's eyes narrowed. Of course, but he revealed he's recruiting highly skilled missing nin for a covert organization. From his words, it's likely comprised of A-rank and possibly S-rank shinobi. The color drained slightly from Yazuki's face, and the others tensed. Even one S-rank ninja could devastate a village. An entire group was an alarming threat. We're returning to the Hawkage immediately, Yazuki ordered. Everyone nodded, tightening formation as they pushed through the last 10 miles at top speed. With Naruto, the school bell chimed. That's all for today, the teacher announced, packing his things and leaving the classroom. Naruto's eyes flicked to the clock. Itachi-chan should be back from her mission today. She'd promised to meet him once she returned from escort duty in Kyusa. He'd been counting down the days. All right, I'll catch her at the gates, he thought with a grin, bolting out of the classroom. His classmates stared after him, curious about his sudden burst of energy. On the way to the village gates, Kurama teased him relentlessly. Eager to see your girl, huh? The fox drawled. Naruto's face went crimson. Kurama. It's not like that. I'm not even dating her, yet, he shouted mentally, his blush intensifying until he looked like a tomato. Passers-by stared, some nervously backing away at the sight of the whiskered boy so flushed. Kurama cackled. Oh, he said yet. He admitted it. This is too good. Naruto cut the link with a mental scream. When he looked up, he realized too late he was about to crash into someone. She. His voice was muffled as he stumbled forward into something soft and round. Mortified, he jerked his hands back, realizing where they'd landed. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, he babbled, kneeling in panic and bowing his head repeatedly, bracing for the wrath he was sure would follow. But instead of anger, a soft, teasing laugh reached his ears. Oh my Naruto-kun, do you like what you're holding? A gentle, feminine voice asked. Naruto peeked up, cheeks blazing. It was an accident. I didn't mean it, he stammered. Kurama's laughter in his head only made it worse. The woman's melodic laugh deepened. She found the trembling boy adorable. Naruto froze, transfixed by the sound. Everything else fell away. Up you go. It's all right, Naruto-kun, she said kindly, lifting his chin. Moo, have you already forgotten me? It's only been 5 days, she teased. She studied him with quiet amazement. He'd grown in just those few days, now reaching the middle of her chest, nearly her shoulders. Noticing his flushed face, she pressed her hand to his forehead, comparing it to her own. You're not feverish, huh? She murmured. But before she could say more, Naruto fainted, mumbling about a goddess and Itachi's beauty. She blushed softly and scooped him into her arms, heading back to their shared apartment at a gentle pace so as not to wake him. She blushed again at the thought. Shared apartment. 1 year ago. Itachi, the head elder of the Uchiha Council said coldly. Your progress has slowed, and you're spending more and more time with the Jinchuriki of Konoha. End it now, or face expulsion from the clan and sealing of your Sharingan. Itachi lifted her gaze, expression steady while her mind roiled. She loved her family. She'd lost them once already. But Naruto was her friend, the one she'd confided in. Sasuke would be hurt, maybe even feel betrayed, but could she truly sever her bond with Naruto? At last she gave her answer. The elders sealed her Sharingan and expelled her from the clan. For the sake of appearances, she kept the Uchiha name publicly, sparing the clan further scandal. Later that day at Ikaraku, Naruto's voice was quiet. Itachi-chan, why'd you leave the clan for me? I don't know what you're talking about, she tried to deflect, but Naruto shook his head, eyes wet. I've seen the way the Uchihas glare at you. I even henged myself and asked one who'd been drinking. I know what they said. Tell me the truth. It's simple, Naruto-kun, she said softly, cheeks pink. I value our friendship more than a name. I don't need the Sharingan to fight. I'll miss Sasuke, but you need me too. What will you do now? Naruto asked gently. I mean you don't have anywhere to live, right? Move in with me. I've set up seals to keep it secure and comfortable. His offer was earnest. Itachi looked at him, surprised, then saw the sincerity in his eyes. She couldn't refuse. She nodded. In Naruto's mindscape. You actually fainted. Kurama rolled on the floor of Naruto's mental landscape, laughing so hard his sides hurt. Naruto groaned, smacking his forehead against an imaginary wall. Why the hell did I faint? Kurama's grin widened. So, how soft was she? Naruto's blush returned full force, the memory flashing again. He slammed his head harder against the wall, trying to erase the image, as Kurama's laughter echoed like thunder. Yeah, laugh it up, Fox. When I wake up Naruto mumbled, only to be cut off when Itachi decided to splash water right onto his face while he was asleep. Naruto jolted awake, kunai instantly in hand, blinking rapidly as he realized he was back in his own room. His eyes darted around, struggling to process what was going on. Wow, where, how? He stammered. Welcome home, Naruto-kun, Itachi smirked, clearly enjoying herself. Didn't think you were into this kind of fun. The boy was only 7, but he was far too cute not to tease. Wah, what? Naruto yelped, realizing their posture looked far too suggestive after he scrambled onto her. His kunai pressed against her throat, one leg wedged between hers. Don't worry, Naruto-kun. I wouldn't mind at all, Itachi teased with a husky tone. Naruto's brain completely short-circuited at her words, his face steaming red before he collapsed onto the floor, overwhelmed. Itachi giggled softly, amused. June 9th, Itachi's 12th birthday. Happy birthday, Itachi-chan, Naruto shouted with enthusiasm. Their celebration was private, just the two of them, exactly how they both preferred it. Itachi never enjoyed the stiff political gatherings her father forced on her. She'd always rather have these quiet moments where she could be herself. Sounds like something Naruto would say, she thought with faint amusement. Over the years, she noticed she'd changed. No longer the cold, distant girl she once was, she had grown warmer to the very few people she let into her life. Fewer friends than she had fingers, but real ones nonetheless. Itachi-chan, I've got a surprise for you, Naruto whispered with a grin, snapping her out of her thoughts. Come to the basement tonight if you want to see it. Why don't you just tell me now? Itachi asked, giving him her most irresistible puppy eyes. Normally, Naruto cracked instantly under that look. But this time, he paled and looked away, refusing to spill anything. That only piqued her curiosity. And if there was one thing Itachi hated, it was being denied. From that moment, she began ambushing him throughout the day, jumping out of nowhere, trying to catch him off guard and make him reveal his secret. Naruto, poor boy, was left jumpy and paranoid from her persistence. Later that night, Itachi finally slipped into the basement. Strange markings covered the floor, intricate kanji for each chakra nature. Fire, water, earth, lightning, wind, and countless more she didn't recognize, layered together into an advanced sealing formula. Before she could investigate, Naruto stumbled out from behind a stack of boxes, tired but focused. He ignored her completely, double-checking the seal and its characters with surprising precision. Watching him quietly, a mischievous idea formed. Silently, she crept up behind him. Naruto-kun, what are you doing? She shouted at the top of her lungs. Naruto screamed, jumping so high he smacked his head through the ceiling, getting stuck like some dangling ornament. The old, run-down apartment groaned under the impact. Itachi burst out laughing, clutching her stomach instead of helping him down. Once freed, Naruto scowled before breaking into a sly grin. You know what this means, right? Prank war. Itachi froze, paling instantly. Naruto laughed triumphantly. All right, but seriously, we need to get to the real reason you're here, Naruto said, sobering up. What reason? She asked curiously. Oh, nothing too big. Just, unsealing your Sharingan, maybe even pushing it toward evolving into the eternal Mangekyo, Naruto replied casually, as though it were no big deal. Itachi's eyes widened in shock. Naruto sighed when she just sat there, stunned. Are you even listening? She shook her head blankly. Typical Itachi-chan, Naruto thought, exasperated. Patiently, he guided her into position within the seal and began the lengthy ritual. Hours later, both of them lay on the ground, exhausted. The process had nearly broken Itachi. The Uchiha clan's seal wasn't just suppressive. It was designed to mentally and physically torment the user if they resisted. Naruto had pushed himself to the brink, draining massive amounts of chakra, even swallowing multiple Uzumaki chakra pills to keep the ritual going. When it was finally over, Itachi turned her head toward him, voice soft. Why would you do this for me? Naruto's expression softened. Because those nightmares were eating away at you. That seal was meant to mess with your mind, make you feel weak without the Sharingan. I couldn't stand watching you suffer. Itachi had never felt so genuinely cared for in her life. October 10th, Naruto's birthday. Ah, poof! Naruto vanished in a puff of smoke, slipping away from the mob chasing him through Konoha's alleys. Confused, the angry villagers dispersed, grumbling curses at the boy they hated. Naruto landed with a thud on the floor of his home. Oof, thanks, Itachi-chan, he called, dusting himself off. Then he pouted. But you kinda ruined my fun. I was about to prank them. Oh, would you prefer I tie you up and hand you back over to them, Naruto-kun? Itachi asked sweetly, eyes glowing faintly with a dangerous purple light. Naruto shivered, immediately bowing his head in apology. Thought so, she purred, before suddenly presenting a wrapped package with a bright smile. Happy birthday, Naruto-kun. Naruto's pout vanished, replaced with pure joy. He tore it open eagerly to find new ninja tools and a plush fox doll. His grin widened. He'd never admit it out loud, but he loved anything fox-related. Thanks, Itachi-chan, Naruto cried, hugging her tightly. She laughed and dragged him off to Ikaraku's to celebrate with Tucha and Iame. At the ramen stand, Iame leaned close, whispering teasingly, So, Naruto, are you and Itachi-chan a couple yet? Naruto nearly choked on his noodles, face burning red, while Kurama cackled from within his mindscape. Tuchai joined in with his own sly grin. You two spend all your time together. Seems like you're more than friends, eh? Now it was Itachi's turn to blush, stammering denials while her thoughts betrayed her. She did love him, but he was still so young. A part of her whispered, just wait until he's older. Naruto waved a hand in front of her face, yelling, Helloo, Itachi-chan. You're spacing out. Their faces ended up inches apart, making her fluster even more. Too close, Naruto-kun, I can feel your breath, she mumbled. Both jerked back, while Iame and Tuchai burst into laughter. Academy exam day, Kage Bunshin, Naruto shouted, filling the training field with dozens of clones. In unison, half rained shuriken while the other half expanded them with the shuriken shadow clone jutsu, turning 30 blades into a storm of steel. Well done, Naruto-kun, but not good enough. Itachi smirked, leaping high above the barrage. The sound of metal clashing rang out, smoke filling the air. Naruto grinned. Gotcha! He threw weighted kunai at her predicted landing spot, only for Itachi to outmaneuver with clones and the hide like a mole technique, snatching him from underground and leaving him dangling upside down. What a giant orange mole, Itachi teased, laughing at his pout. Naruto dropped back onto his feet, sulking. Why are you so mean, Itachi-chan? All right, enough. That was clever, but remember, smoke blinds you too. And your chakra levels are too high, it gives you away. You need better control, she advised, always the teacher. Naruto nodded, already planning improvements. Then he froze. The exam! In a blur, he dashed off at speeds that nearly rivaled the fourth Hokage, his panicked cries echoing through the village as Itachi chuckled softly behind him. Nara Shinji, Aburim Sion Akatsuki Tatsuya Uzumaki Naruto. Has anyone seen Naruto? Asked Yamagenji, the teacher, lazily glancing at his clipboard. Unlike most, he respected Naruto's effort and work ethic. Sorry, sensei, I'm late, Naruto shouted, bursting through the door. Just sit down, Naruto, Genji sighed, handing out the exam papers. Naruto slumped into his seat, eyes on the test. With a deep breath, he began scribbling down answers, determination etched on his face. 1 week later, the once rowdy classroom gradually hushed as the instructor stepped inside, a thick stack of papers in his grip. Every student's eyes were glued to those sheets. This was the moment they'd been waiting for, the results. The top student of the year, the teacher announced, is Hyuga Neji. Scores. Taijutsu 8 out of 10, written exam 17 out of 20, Genjutsu 8 out of 10, and Shuriken Jutsu 8 out of 10. And this year's best kunoichi is Tenten with Taijutsu 6 out of 10, written exam 16 out of 20, Genjutsu 7 out of 10, and Shuriken Jutsu 9 out of 10. Naruto leaned back in his seat, nodding with quiet satisfaction. With the knowledge he carried from before, he could have easily claimed the top spot. But he had deliberately held back. The last thing he wanted was for the civilian council to start sniffing around suspiciously. His own results placed him comfortably among the top 5 Taijutsu. 710, written, 1320 Genjutsu, 710 Shuriken Jutsu, 810. Guess my classmates weren't as sharp as I thought, he mused with a faint smirk. When the day ended and he stepped out through the academy doors, the stares from passing villagers cut into him as always. Their glares carried the same bitterness, the same scorn. It still hurt, but he didn't let it drag him down, not when he caught sight of Itachi waiting nearby. She greeted him by ruffling his hair, something that made him groan in embarrassment. He swatted at her hand, only for her to dodge away, laughing softly at his reaction. He pouted at first, but deep down he was glad. This time he had someone he could truly trust. "You've got Itachi with you, huh?" A familiar, growling voice echoed in his mind. "Shut it, furball," Naruto muttered internally, cheeks heating. Itachi tilted her head with a teasing smile. "So, what's Kurama grumbling about now, Naruto-kun?" "Gah, don't you two gang up on me," he yelped, his face glowing red. Kurama's chuckle mixed with Itachi's laughter, both at his expense. Naruto folded his arms, grumbling, "I swear the two of you share some kind of secret bond." Yet despite his sulking, the corners of his lips betrayed a faint smile. December 24th, the day before Christmas. Crap. Naruto bolted upright from his bed. Panic spread across his face as realization struck. Christmas Eve was already here, and he hadn't bought any gifts or decorations. Worse yet, Itachi was due back from her mission tomorrow. If she found out he had nothing prepared, she'd definitely kill him. "Just use clones, idiot," Kurama's annoyed voice rumbled. "Quit whining so I can get some sleep." Naruto's eyes lit up at the suggestion. "Thanks, Kurama." A puff of smoke filled the apartment as he unleashed a horde of shadow clones. They immediately transformed and scattered throughout the village to gather supplies, while the original Naruto paced anxiously. "What do I even get for Itachi-chan?" he thought, tugging at his hair. "Jewelry? No, too flashy. She prefers things that are useful. Maybe a ring." His mind conjured an image of the two of them exchanging vows, and he quickly shook it away, his face burning. "Yeah, no, bad idea." The doorbell rang, making him stiffen. For a second he feared it was Itachi back early, but then a warm voice called out from the other side. "Are you home, Naruto-kun?" Naruto exhaled in relief. It was the Hokage. He opened the door, grinning wide. "Jiji. Long time no see." Hiruzen smiled kindly. "Indeed, it has been. How's the academy treating you?" Naruto launched into stories about his classes, his training, and a handful of misadventures, clearly enjoying the chance to talk to the man he saw as a surrogate grandfather. Then his face grew serious. "Jiji, I need advice. I don't know what to get Itachi-chan for Christmas." Hiruzen's chuckle made Naruto blush deeper. "She prefers practical gifts, but I don't want to just hand her some run-of-the-mill kunai or shuriken," Naruto admitted. "What about a customized tanto?" the Hokage suggested. Naruto's eyes widened. "That's perfect. She's always complaining about her old one wearing down. Thanks, Jiji." He dashed off in excitement while Hiruzen chuckled softly and vanished in a shunshin. At Higurashi's weapon shop, man, this place brings back memories, Naruto thought as he stepped inside. Flashback, 1 year ago, great. Another shop threw me out. My weapons are falling apart and I can't even ask Itachi, she's on a mission again, Naruto muttered outside a store. "Hey Naruto, what are you doing outside my dad's shop?" a voice called. Startled, he turned to see his classmate Tenten. "Oh, this is your dad's shop? I'll just leave then." "Hold it. You said something about blunt tools, didn't you?" she pressed, eyeing him suspiciously. "It's nothing," Naruto stammered, rubbing his neck. She smirked knowingly. "You always do that when you lie. Come on, my dad won't bite." She dragged him inside. Instead of the usual rejection, the store owner stared at Naruto like he was looking at an old friend's child. His voice trembled. "I never knew that he had a son." "Who?" both Naruto and Tenten asked. "A close friend. He's gone now, but Naruto, he never abandoned you. Don't believe otherwise. Anyway, call me Dan." "What do you need?" From then on, Naruto and the Higurashi family grew close. He often trained with Tenten and Lee on weapon techniques, and the shop became his go-to place for tools. End of flashback. "Ah, Naruto-kun," Dan boomed as usual. "What brings you here?" "I need a custom tanto ready by tomorrow. Is that possible?" Naruto asked nervously. "Cutting it close, but I'll manage." "Got a design?" Blushing, Naruto revealed his sketch. The blade bore engravings of a fox and a raven intertwined, symbolizing his bond with Kurama and Itachi. The hilt was accented with streaks of gold, elegant yet simple. Dan whistled. "Someone's getting bold, huh? Planning to confess." "Oji-san, knock it off," Naruto muttered, flustered. "Let's just start." The next morning, a sleepy Tenten wandered into the workshop, only to find her father asleep at the desk in full work gear. Shaking her head, she gently nudged him awake. "Huh-oh, morning, little ten," Dan mumbled groggily. "Have you seen Naruto? Last I checked, he was still in the forge." Tenten slipped into work attire and peeked inside. She froze at the sight of multiple shadow clones patrolling the area like guards. One clone whispered, "Boss is focused, don't interrupt unless you wanna regret it." Last guy ended up clucking like a chicken for hours. Her eyes widened, but before she could retreat, the real Naruto shot up from his bench. "Done, just in time." His grin lit up his face, though he quickly noticed Tenten standing there and scratched his head sheepishly. "Sorry, didn't see you." She waved it off. "Can I see what you made?" "Sure, just don't touch." "It's delicate." When her gaze fell on the blade, her breath hitched. "It's stunning." The fox and raven motif gleamed on titanium steel alloy, the eyes of the creatures set with ruby and topaz gems. The hilt shimmered with a crystalline fabric, woven from emerald and sapphire threads laced with fuinjutsu. "What will you name it?" Tenten whispered. "Hogo Suruwaga Asaru Hito," Naruto answered softly. "To protect the one I love." "Thanks, Dan, I couldn't have done this without you," Naruto said earnestly the next day. Dan chuckled. "Just repaying an old debt, kid." Naruto smiled, bowing deeply before sprinting out. "I've gotta meet Itachi-chan." At the gates, he spotted her returning with her team. The moment he recognized her silhouette, his face broke into a wide smile. "Itachi-chan," he called out, waving. She smiled back warmly. "Hello, Naruto-kun." Her team chuckled at the pair before excusing themselves to give their report. Itachi turned to him. "Shall I clean up first before we celebrate Christmas?" Naruto grinned and nodded eagerly. Together, they headed home. "Wait here for a bit, all right." "I'll be back soon," Itachi said calmly, slipping into the bathroom. Naruto leaned against the wall, humming softly while waiting. The sound of running water filled the air as Itachi quickly showered, her sensitive ears catching the faint tune of Naruto's voice. It wasn't often he sang, so whenever she had the chance, she quietly listened. His voice always had a way of easing the storm inside her. A small smile tugged at her lips as she thought, "He really doesn't know how much I enjoy this." Her musings were interrupted when Naruto called out, "Itachi-chan, you done yet?" Blinking, she snapped out of her thoughts. "Yeah, I'm coming." Stepping out, she was dressed in a snug black sweatshirt with fitted jeans. Her dark hair was pinned neatly into a small bun at the back with a few senbon holding it in place. Naruto glanced at her, then quickly looked away. She noticed, narrowing her eyes slightly. "What's wrong, Naruto?" she asked gently. "You're too cute," he muttered under his breath. Itachi's pale cheeks turned pink and she coughed lightly. Let's just get going. It's Christmas after all," she said, grabbing his hand and tugging him along. Naruto, flustered, followed with a steaming face. The streets glowed with soft lantern light, and the winter air was crisp. Snow had just begun to fall when Itachi stopped and looked up. "Look, Naruto-kun." "It's snowing." Her voice carried a quiet awe. He tilted his head back, watching the flakes drift down. "Yeah, it's beautiful," he agreed. "Merry Christmas, Naruto-kun," she said softly, pulling out a small silver chain. Hanging from it was a ruby-carved fox. "I picked this up on a mission and thought it would suit you." Naruto's eyes widened. "Itachi-chan, I love it, thank you." He wrapped his arms around her warmly before pulling out his own gift. "I made this for you. Dan helped me finish it, it's a tanto. I named it Hogo Suru Waga Asaru Hito." Her hands trembled slightly as she accepted the blade. "Thank you, Naruto-kun." "I love it and I love you too," she whispered so faintly he almost missed it. Naruto's face buried against her chest. "So, does this mean we're dating now?" "Unofficially," she teased with a small smirk. "When we both make genin, I'll make it official." Naruto pulled back, grinning. "Then I'll just have to skip grades to speed it up, right?" Her smile deepened. "Maybe I'll end up being your Jonin sensei." January 3rd Academy, first day back. Naruto slumped into his chair, groaning inwardly. Another boring history lesson, but today turned out different. Their instructor announced, "We're beginning a new program, Field Survival Training." The proposal came from Chunin Itachi, and the Hokage has approved it. Naruto perked up instantly. "Field training, finally something exciting. Form teams of 3 and meet outside," the teacher continued before leaving. The classroom erupted in chatter. Naruto quickly waved to his closest friends. "Oi Lee, 10-10. Team with me?" Their bond had started months earlier. Naruto had defended Lee when bullies mocked him for not being able to mold chakra, telling them that Lee's hard work would one day surpass theirs. Since then, they trained together after class, sharpening their taijutsu until both could hold their own against far stronger opponents. As for Tenten, Naruto had first met her at her family's weapon shop. Impressed by her skill with tools and her sharp mind, he roped her into training with them, determined to raise their weapon proficiency. Between the three, they had become an effective little squad of their own. Yash! Let's go, Naruto-san, Ten-Ten-chan, Lee shouted energetically. Hey Lee, tone it down, the Hokage could probably hear you from here, Ten-Ten muttered. Jigomnasai, Lee said sheepishly. When they stepped outside, groups of Chunin instructors were waiting. Among them stood Itachi, the youngest in the lineup. She raised a hand when she spotted Naruto. Naruto's jaw dropped. Itachi-chan, what are you doing here? His voice carried genuine surprise mixed with joy. I'm overseeing the exercise. It was my idea after all, she replied smoothly. Then, in a mock-sad voice, she added, unless you don't want me here. Naruto waved his hands in panic. No, I'm glad you're here. I like having you around. Both of them flushed bright red at the slip, and Ten-Ten stifled a laugh while Lee's eyes sparkled in amusement. Around them, several Chunin chuckled at the rare sight of the infamous Ice Princess, blushing because of a 7-year-old. Her Sharingan flickered briefly, silencing the laughter with a deadly look. No one mentions this, ever. Silence fell instantly. Naruto placed a comforting hand on her back. Itachi-chan, they're just academy kids. Not soldiers like us. His voice was soft, steady, and grounding. Slowly, she calmed, tension melting away. Thank you, Naruto, she whispered back. Naruto leaned closer with a mischievous grin and whispered a plan into her ear. Her lips curled into a sadistic smile. To the watching students, it looked like the two were plotting something devilish, and they weren't wrong. The survival training took place in Training Ground 44, the infamous Forest of Death. Students were to survive 3 days, locate a scroll hidden under genjutsu, and avoid traps. Naruto, of course, had already flooded the forest with his shadow clones, turning the place into a chaotic prankster's playground. His reputation as Konoha's prank king was well-earned. After all, who else could pull off tricks on even the Hyuga elders or the Hokage himself without ever being caught? This was going to be fun. Time to unleash the prank wars, Naruto thought with a mischievous grin spreading across his face. His eyes sparkled with mischief, something Lee and Ten-Ten somehow missed during the team's earlier discussion. But Itachi, sharp as ever, caught on to that familiar glint and didn't trust it for a second. The moment their meeting ended, she grabbed Naruto by the arm and pulled him aside. All right, Naruto-kun, what are you scheming? Itachi asked, her voice laced with sweetness that only made it scarier. Naruto's grin widened as nervous sweat dripped down his face. Heh, Itachi-chan, relax, no need to worry. Just sit back and enjoy the performance. I promise you'll love it. Smack. Itachi flicked him on the forehead with enough force to sting. You'd better pray your antics don't drag the rest of us into trouble, she scolded. But Naruto had known her long enough to hear the faint tone of curiosity behind her words. Roger that, Naruto said with a mock salute, cheeky as ever. Itachi sighed heavily, already regretting not dragging him to the Hokage herself. Somewhere else, in a strange, dimly lit chamber, a radiant figure cloaked in pure white chuckled, her voice melodic yet haunting. Fufufu, Naruto-chan, returning you to this time was no mistake. Entertain me more, my little champion. Across from her, a figure cloaked in pitch black groaned with a deep rumble, pitying whoever would end up on the receiving end of Naruto's chaos. Back with the team, as the group trekked deeper into the forest, sudden shrieks echoed all around. But instead of screams of terror, they sounded more like angry outbursts. Lee and Ten-Ten quickly went on guard, scanning the area for any threat. Itachi, however, slowly turned her gaze toward Naruto. There he stood, calmly examining wildflowers as if nothing unusual was happening. He looked so innocent that someone unfamiliar with him might actually believe he wasn't involved. Don't be fooled, Itachi, her mind screamed. That's Naruto-kun, the self-proclaimed prank king of Konoha. Marching up to him, she grabbed his shoulders and spun him around to face her. Oh hey, Itachi-chan, what's up? Naruto asked casually. Explain, now. Naruto broke into an unrepentant grin. Oh, nothing major, just some harmless stuff like giant fake spiders flying around, a random downpour that soaks you if you're not careful, an underground slide that spits you back where you started. That sort of thing. He chuckled, trying and failing to contain himself. Itachi pinched the bridge of her nose and exhaled slowly. I'm not going to ask how you pulled it off, and I won't even bother telling you to stop. Just make sure we're not caught in any of it. Got it, Naruto chirped, giving another salute. Suddenly he burst out laughing, pointing upward. Itachi's eyes followed and saw a mushroom-shaped puff of smoke rising above the trees. Jackpot, Naruto shouted gleefully. What exactly is the jackpot? Itachi asked warily. Chicken bombs, stink bombs, and then a ceiling tag that makes every word they say sound like a chicken. Naruto doubled over laughing. Lee and Tenten both froze. They turned slowly, glaring at Naruto with accusing fingers. You're the one behind all this? They yelled in unison. Itachi sighed, though a small grin tugged at her lips. All right, team, let's move. We need to set up camp. Following her lead, the group continued, and Naruto discreetly pointed out each prank location. Thanks to him, Team Itachi avoided every single trap. 5 days later. So, Itachi-chan, how many teams do you think actually survived? Naruto asked, bouncing excitedly as they headed to the gathering area. With the traps you laid, Itachi smirked, probably just us. They weren't just tough, they were vicious, Tenten added with a shiver. I'd never want Naruto as an enemy when traps are involved. Indeed. Truly, Naruto is the prankster king of Konoha, Lee shouted, only to be scolded by Tenten as usual. Naruto fake sobbed. Geez, you guys make me sound like some evil mastermind. You kind of are, Itachi replied dryly. Lee and Tenten both nodded. Oh, don't act innocent, Itachi-chan. You tease me all the time at home, Naruto pouted. Says you're the one always. Their bickering escalated until Tenten's face turned red. With a loud groan, she yelled, Will you two stop? You're acting like kids. Embarrassed, Naruto and Itachi fell silent, walking side by side while Lee trailed nervously behind Tenten. They emerged into the clearing, only to find chaos. Several students were clucking like chickens, glowing noses flashing as they honked like clowns. Others were stuck together in glue, stumbling around miserably. The sight was so ridiculous that Naruto and Itachi collapsed against each other in uncontrollable laughter. Lee and Tenten tried hiding their own giggles, but failed miserably. Then another group stumbled in, dressed like cows, complete with bells and loud moos. The already pranked students gawked before bursting into renewed laughter. Naruto and Itachi fell to the ground again, clutching their sides. All right, Naruto, why you need to undo this? Itachi wheezed between tears of laughter. Still laughing, Naruto sent out a shadow clone, which performed a quick dispel. A massive puff of smoke cleared the air, erasing all evidence of the pranks. The laughter was instantly replaced by enraged shouting, and Naruto suddenly felt murderous glares boring into him. He looked at Itachi, who nonchalantly pretended she hadn't noticed. She simply hand-signed at him, considerate training in pain tolerance. Good for you. Naruto stared at her in disbelief before a mob of furious students grabbed him by the collar, proceeding to give him the beating of a lifetime. With the Chunin instructors, Team A, poor performance. They couldn't set aside differences to work as one, a Chunin reported. Team B, good potential. Though rough around the edges, they managed teamwork. Members, Yamanaka Yuki, Akatsuki Tatsuya, and Shinji, a civilian-born shinobi. Team C, decent teamwork. Neji Hyuga demonstrated strong Byakugan use. His teammates were Adachi Ayame and Amari Ryuichi. Team D, disappointing. Consisted of Hyuga fangirls, lacked focus, clearly malnourished from dieting. Team E, operated under unique circumstances, not following standard formation. As for Team F, not fit for a permanent squad, will provide further report to the Hawkage. Itachi gave her own feedback when the teams were assembled. Team A was scolded harshly. Team B and C received praise, Neji scoffing arrogantly at the recognition. Team D was warned seriously. Itachi's sharing and flaring as she reminded them that Kunoichi often became targets if they weren't serious about their path. Team E was deemed unsuitable for stealth operations, but acknowledged for their attitude. The academy groups dispersed, some with pride, others sulking. The Chunin instructors left as well, leaving only Naruto and Itachi behind. You should go too, Naruto-kun, Itachi murmured. Nah, I'll come with you, haven't seen Gigi in a while. Then shunshin me there. As you command, princess, Naruto said cheekily, and whisked them away in a swirl of wind. They reappeared directly in the Hawkage's office, only to be instantly surrounded by masked ANBU, killing intent flooding the room. ANBU, now, Hiruzen barked. Hi Gigi. It's me, Naruto chuckled nervously, scratching the back of his head. Itachi gave him a flat look. Naruto, even the legendary Sannin don't teleport directly into the Hawkage's office, she whispered harshly. Stand down, Hiruzen ordered the ANBU, though his eyes were sharp. Naruto, you have some explaining to do. What do you mean, Gigi? Naruto asked with confusion. Explain how you learned the body flicker, and tell me anything else important, Hiruzen demanded. Naruto sighed, setting Itachi down gently, which the Hawkage didn't miss. Honestly, I'd rank myself around high Genin or low Chunin level if we're using wartime standards. I've been studying old scrolls in the library. Itachi's been helping me train as well. Then his voice dropped. And I also found out, my parents are Minato and Kushina. Hiruzen paled instantly. Now Naruto, Hiruzen began, but the blonde cut him off with a casual hand sign. Gigi, I get why you kept things hidden. I actually met their chakra imprints inside my seal when I first tried opening the lock on Kurama's cage. Me and Kurama, we've built a strong connection. I trusted him enough to open it, and honestly, it's been amazing for my chakra control. I can pull off flawless bunshin now. So you already know your lineage, your tenant, and even managed to release Kurama, huh? Hiruzen exhaled heavily. You've reached the level of a Chunin during peacetime standards. I suppose there's nothing left I can hide from you, is there? Nope, Naruto grinned wide. I'm more surprised at how calm you are about all this, though. Calm, hardly. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it, Hiruzen muttered, rubbing his temples. He finally turned his attention to the Uchiha in the room. Now then, Itachi, what brings you here? Hi. This is my report on the academy drills and my evaluation of the possible Genin teams. Itachi spoke evenly, but there was a sharp undertone of dissatisfaction. She handed over a scroll. Frankly, Hokage-sama, the academy training program is lacking. It needs serious improvement. They're still children, Itachi-chan, Hiruzen reminded softly as he accepted the scroll for later review. There are fangirls among them, she countered bluntly. Every shinobi present groaned in unison. Fangirls were a plague no village wanted to admit existed, but every village suffered from. Itachi, you're dismissed for now, although I'd prefer you stay, Hiruzen added thoughtfully. He then looked back at Naruto with narrowed eyes. So when exactly were you planning on telling me that you two were seeing each other? Both Naruto and Itachi stiffened, laughter spilling out nervously. After I became a genin, Naruto admitted with an awkward scratch of his cheek. And when did this start? Hiruzen asked, his eyes settling on Itachi. Her cheeks flushed. December 25th, last year, Hokage-sama. The ANBU stationed nearby chuckled quietly. The Hokage always cared for his shinobi as though they were family, blood ties, or not. Good to know, Hiruzen mused. And I'm aware you're both sharing an apartment. Naruto, I'm not ready to be a great-grandfather just yet. He chuckled. Hokage-sama/Gigi. Both of them shouted in embarrassment, faces burning red. All right, you're dismissed. Hiruzen waved them off with a laugh. They bowed, still flushed, and disappeared in a neat gust of wind, holding hands as they left. Wind shunshin, cleaner than the leaf version. Though it just means more work for my ANBU, Hiruzen muttered with a dangerous twinkle in his eye. The masked guards silently cursed Naruto's inventiveness. A rush of air swept through the small apartment as Naruto and Itachi reappeared side by side. With a soft hop, Itachi climbed onto Naruto's back and rested her chin against his shoulder. Carry me to the room, Ruto-kun, she murmured sleepily. Bath first, Naruto countered. But I just want to collapse, she whined. Go, bath now, Naruto said firmly. She pouted but obeyed, shuffling toward the bathroom. Naruto sighed and flopped onto the couch. The last few days had been packed, but he couldn't deny they'd been fun. Guess I haven't pulled any big pranks lately. A sudden shriek came from the bathroom. Naruto shot up, blasting through the door. What he found made him facepalm. Itachi-chan, it's just a spider. I hate them. They crawl everywhere and once one even got in my mouth when I was a kid. Just get it out, she shouted from behind him. Chuckling, Naruto gently scooped up the spider and tossed it out the window. There, problem solved, now finish your bath. He turned, trying not to glance too long at her exposed figure. You broke the door, Rudo-kun, Itachi muttered, still shaken. Right, I'll fix it later. For now, I'll set up some anti-pervert seals outside. He sweat-dropped, leaving the bathroom. He made several clones to reinforce a barrier that would nullify any spying jutsu. Just as he was heading back, a familiar white-haired figure caught his eye by the bathroom window. Iro-senin, Naruto's eye twitched. In an instant, he surged with Biju Chakra, launching forward and slamming his head into Jiraiya's gut. The man crashed to the ground, dazed. You've got a lot of explaining to do, Iro-senin, Naruto growled, his body glowing red. Especially since you were peeking at my girlfriend. Jiraiya gulped. I can explain. You have 3 seconds. I was only stopping by after hearing you'd learned the truth about your past. On the way, I noticed a cute girl in what should have been your bathroom and wait, did you just say girlfriend? Jiraiya squeaked. Naruto didn't bother replying. He proceeded to pummel the perverted sage into the dirt, buried him halfway underground, and torched his precious notes into ash. That'll make him think twice about spying again, Naruto thought with a smug grin. When he returned upstairs, Itachi emerged from the shower with a worried look. Naruto-kun, I heard a commotion outside. Nothing serious, just a pervert who thought he was safe under genjutsu. Don't worry, he's alive, but he'll reconsider next time. Naruto's tone was dark, his aura radiating menace before he quickly brightened with a grin. Anyway, I'm gonna take my bath now. All right, Itachi trailed off, uneasy at how much of her sadistic nature Naruto seemed to be picking up. She shook the thought away and went to bed. Later that night, Kurama's voice rumbled through Naruto's mindscape. Kit, I've decided. I'll allow you to sign the Fox contract. Be honored, you're the first human we've ever accepted into alliance. Naruto blinked tiredly. You dragged me out of sleep just to brag about this. HMPH, don't downplay it. We Foxes are natural tricksters, masters of fire, assassinations, and destruction. And you've got me, the king of foxes, second only to the Empress Inari. All right, Naruto bit his thumb and signed the scroll in blood. There, done, now let me go back to bed. Humans and their obsession with sleep, Kurama huffed. Naruto ignored him and stepped through the dream gate. Morning arrived with Itachi gently poking Naruto's cheek. Wake up, Naruto-kun, he groaned, turning away. She smiled fondly. So cute, I should take a picture. She sent a clone to fetch the camera, but before she could snap it, Naruto stirred awake. Morning, Ida-chan, he mumbled. Sleep well? Mom, want to grab breakfast? She asked. Yeah, let me change first. They quickly dressed, Naruto whipping up eggs and bacon with tea for them both. Itachi enjoyed the simple meal before suggesting, since we have time before class, how about some morning training? Sure. Light breakfast, light exercise, then academy, Naruto agreed. At the training ground, Itachi asked, so what do you want to focus on today? Taijutsu. I still haven't found a style that really fits me, Naruto admitted. In that case, I have an idea, the 1,000 moves style. It's about learning multiple taijutsu basics and combining them. With my Sharingan, I've copied countless stances. I can show you. It'll suit you since you thrive on unpredictability. Naruto beamed. That's perfect, Ida-chan. They spent hours drilling katas, Naruto using shadow clones to multiply the practice. While the clones didn't give muscle memory, they did share experience, speeding up his progress. By the time the sun rose high, Naruto checked the time. It's 9, I have to get to class. Itachi nodded, and as his clones dispelled, Naruto sprinted toward the academy. At the academy, today we'll be discussing the second Hokage. Nidaime was renowned for his incredible mastery over water release. Some even claim he could create water from nothing, even in barren deserts. Instructor Yama Genji spoke in his usual dull monotone, but Naruto's eyes lit up at the mention of ninjutsu. That would be amazing. If he could do that with water, maybe I can try it with wind. Imagine calling up a storm out of thin air, Naruto thought, excitement buzzing inside him. It's not beyond your reach, Kurama rumbled in his mind. What the second truly did was craft something called a chakra field. His massive reserves made it possible. You actually have at least twice as much energy as he did. But what made it legendary wasn't the size, it was the precision it required. So, you know how to make one? Naruto asked eagerly. The basics, yes. The tricky part is managing several points across the field at once. The second only handled one point of focus. I can juggle many, Kurama bragged. Then teach me. And why should I? The fox teased. Naruto crossed his arms in his mindscape. Because the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki should be just as strong as the beast itself. Because I'm going to be Hawkage, because we're friends, and because the move is seriously awesome and enough. Fine, I'll show you. Just stop with the endless reasons. Also, maybe you should listen to the actual class right now. Huh! Naruto blinked when Genji-sensei suddenly asked him to repeat what he just said. Luckily, Kurama fed him the words, and he escaped without punishment. The bell rang, ending the lesson. Naruto rushed home only to find it empty as usual. Without hesitation, he headed for training ground 31. It was often where he or Itachi spent their time, and sure enough, he was right, though he didn't expect a second figure. Silver hair glinted in the sunlight, and the clashing of steel filled the air. Kakashi and Itachi were sparring. Naruto sat off to the side, watching closely until the match ended, Kakashi just barely edging out a win. Once they stopped, Naruto stepped forward. Itachi-chan, are you practicing for the Jonin exams? He asked brightly. She replied. Then why with this pervy guy? Naruto tilted his head, completely innocent in tone. Kakashi twitched. What did you just say? He giggles like a schoolgirl spying on her crush, thinking about sneaky alleyways. Is he, into that? Naruto asked without a shred of shame. Itachi stifled a laugh, while Kakashi's single visible eye twitched violently. Naruto, catching the reaction, leaned closer to Itachi and stage-whispered. One time I went inside his house, and every wall was covered in Ika books. I had to burn some just to cleanse the room. He hides the really precious ones, though. Kakashi's killing intent hit the field like a hammer. You brat! He lunged, but Naruto had already puffed away with a clone substitution. Where is that blonde menace? Kakashi roared. He stole my treasured Ika, summoning jutsu. Dogs appeared, sniffing wildly before charging into the trees. Naruto barely had time to scramble out before slamming right into Kakashi himself. Hi, you little demon, hand back my books. Kakashi noogied Naruto so hard the boy thought his skull would split. Itachi-chan, help me, Naruto wailed. All right, Kakashi-kun, let him go, Itachi said between chuckles. Not until he returns them, Kakashi growled. Well, maybe you should have guarded them better. Besides, I like those books too. So no, we're not giving them back, Itachi said, deadpan. Kakashi froze. What? His grip loosened and Naruto bolted free. Like I said, I'm keeping them with Naruto-kun. We won't return them. Kakashi's world collapsed. He fainted on the spot. Wow, he really passed out, Naruto commented. Seems so, Itachi replied coolly. Naruto then perked up. By the way, Kurama told me something earlier. Apparently, he knows how the second created water from air, and it could be done with other elements too. Naruto explained the whole chakra field concept. Itachi's eyes narrowed thoughtfully. That could change a lot. All right, let's try it. Naruto's excitement skyrocketed. Summoning Jutsu Kyuubi. In a flash, Kurama appeared in a humanoid form, dressed in red with a fox tail swaying lazily. He tipped his hat at Itachi. Oi furball, start the lesson already, Naruto grinned. Settle down, brat. You act like a kid every time a new jutsu shows up, Kurama sighed. You're wasting daylight. Naruto, make a clone to haul away that pervert so we can train. Once Kakashi was carted off, Kurama continued. Step 1, spread chakra into a thin sheet. Step 2, condense chakra at a point on that sheet. At the spot, shift it into elemental chakra, like this. Lightning sparked between Kurama's teeth, fire erupted behind him, a geyser burst before them, a whirlwind raged around them, and boulders pelted down from nowhere. Then just as suddenly, it all vanished, leaving the ground untouched. Both Naruto and Itachi stared wide-eyed, jaws slack. What was that? Naruto finally breathed. Exactly the reaction everyone has the first time, Kurama smirked proudly. But before you even think about that, your elemental control must reach perfection. Wind sharp enough to slice 10 miles of forest, but also delicate enough to move a single mustard seed. Fire hot enough to melt stone, but cold enough to freeze water solid. Only then will you grasp true mastery. That's insane, Naruto cried, and even Itachi nodded, still reeling. Kurama smirked again. Then let me show you. He had Naruto summon clones, transform them into mustard seeds, and fetch water. With a flick, Kurama made one seed drift away, pop back into a clone, then shredded the others with a razor wind. The bucket of water froze solid when Kurama touched it with an icy blue flame. Whoa, Naruto whispered in awe. All right, let's do this. And so began a brutal routine. 5 o'clock am, wake up 5:30 am, breakfast 6 o'clock am, physical drills 7:30 am, sparring Naruto sharpened awareness. Itachi refined skill 9 o'clock am, elemental training. 12:30 p.m. lunch 1:30 p.m. elemental training. Continues 3:30 p.m. Naruto's Taijutsu/Itachi's Genjutsu, with clone support 5:30 p.m. Itachi's Kenjutsu with Kakashi/Naruto with Fox summons 8:30 p.m. Dinner 9 o'clock p.m. Bath and free time 10 o'clock p.m. Sleep. Whenever Itachi had missions, Naruto trained alone with clones filling in at the academy. Months passed, and the day of the Jonin exams finally arrived. Unlike the rotating Chunin exams, these were always held inside Konoha. The test had 3 stages. First came demonstrations of ninjutsu, taijutsu, and genjutsu, scored out of 60, with at least 50 points needed to pass. The second test was survival. Candidates were dropped into the wilderness for 2 weeks, forced to endure the elements and simultaneously piece together scattered information to find the true exit. The third stage of the exam was split into 2 formats: individual one-on-one duels and 3-on-3 squad battles. These were held in private, observed only by the Hokage and the Jonin commander. Once everything concluded, the results would be posted on the academy board 2 weeks later. Day of the results. Itachi-chan, do you think you ranked high enough? Naruto asked, bouncing with nervous energy as he trailed beside her. Itachi, calm as ever, gave him a small, reassuring smile. She looked completely composed, as if nothing could rattle her. Together, they arrived at the academy to find a crowd of aspiring Jonin packed tightly around the announcement board. A Chunin rushed up and pinned the results sheet to the board. Before he could even step away, a massive hopeful shoved past, throwing the poor Chunin off balance. Itachi, being smaller than most of the others, couldn't see over the heads blocking her view and was repeatedly pushed back. Irritation flickered in her eyes as she prepared to unleash a burst of fire chakra, until Naruto caught her shoulder and with a grin hoisted her onto his. There, better now. You can see, right, Itachi-chan, he said cheerfully. She gave him a grateful look before turning her attention to the list. Her eyes moved slowly from the bottom up, her breath catching with every name. 5th from the bottom, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, last name, she counted in her head. For a moment, her chest felt heavy, until her eyes landed on her own name at the very top. Relief and pride flooded her, and she quickly signaled for Naruto to put her down. I made it, Naruto-kun. First place too, she whispered, tears of joy brimming. Naruto grinned wide, slapping her hand in celebration. The two left for Yakiniku-Q to enjoy their own private victory dinner. 1 week before year-end exams, Naruto and Itachi climbed the stairs to the Hokage's office. It's been a while since I last came here. I wonder how Jiji's doing, Naruto murmured. I saw him not long ago, Itachi replied. He looked healthier than ever. Your suggestion about using shadow clones has really helped him keep up with all his work. Naruto blinked in surprise. Wait, you knew that was my idea. And how'd you know it was a clone? He was reading one of those orange books while his duplicate was signing papers, she said dryly. He even praised you for the advice. Now he has more free time than he knows what to do with. When they reached the office doors, the secretary gave them a pointed look. The Hokage is busy, she said curtly. Tell him Itachi and Naruto are here, Itachi replied, her sharing flickering briefly. The secretary stiffened and quickly sent the message. Moments later, they were waved inside. Naruto-kun, Itachi-chan, what brings you here? The Hokage greeted warmly from behind his desk. Jiji, I want to take the early graduation test, Naruto said, his tone firm. Hiruzen's eyes sharpened. That is unusual. You're only 8 years old. What's your reasoning? Itachi stepped forward. Hokage-sama, Naruto has already surpassed Genin level strength. I suggested this path so I can personally help guide his growth. Hiruzen studied them carefully. I see. Does that mean you're requesting to take him as your apprentice? Hi, Hokage-sama, she confirmed. And will this apprenticeship take him outside of the village? It will. The old man's lips twitched into a smile. Should I expect a great-grandchild someday? Itachi flushed scarlet, staring at her feet, while Naruto turned bright red, sputtering nonsense. Hidden Anbu chuckled silently, and even Kurama roared with laughter from within Naruto's seal. Hiruzen chuckled. I'm teasing, of course, I approve, but you'll need to provide regular updates on Naruto's progress once every month. Agreed. Hi, Itachi said with a bow. We plan to return in 3 to 5 years. Very well. Naruto, you'll take the exam next week. It will be on the academy's 3rd floor. The passing requirement is 90% across all categories. Do not slack. Hi, Jiji, Naruto replied seriously. As they left, Hiruzen sighed to himself. Minato, your boy is starting to remind me of you more and more. Day of the exam, Naruto, calm down. Itachi shouted for what felt like the 100th time. But what if I fail again? You know Naruto's words were cut short when Itachi kissed him. His panic melted away instantly as he kissed her back. When they broke apart, Naruto's eyes were wide. Wow, Itachi, flushed, smirked. Better, maybe. But I think I need one more for luck, Naruto teased. If you pass the exam, she countered playfully. Fired up, Naruto bolted from the house, determination blazing in his eyes. 4 hours later, he burst out of the academy gates with his new headband tied proudly around his forehead. I did Itachi-chan. Naruto-kun, no need to shout, she said, smiling softly. Sorry, he whispered sheepishly. Come on, let's head home. Dinner won't cook itself. But what about my reward? He whispered slyly. Her lips curved. Later at home. Christmas morning, Itachi poked Naruto's cheek as he stirred awake. Good morning, Ruto-kun. Ida-chan, too early. Come back to sleep, he mumbled, pulling her into his arms. She blushed but nestled against him, enjoying his warmth. When she poked him again, his hand brushed her whisker marks, causing a soft purr to rumble from his chest. Adorable, she thought, unable to resist brushing her fingers over them again. Outside the window, a certain wandering pervert froze mid-peak, scribbling notes. The fox boy and his lady, this will make a bestseller. When Naruto finally stretched awake, Itachi bolted for the shower, face crimson. Itachi-chan. You okay? He called, confused. Everything's fine, she stammered from inside. Naruto blinked. Weird. Later, walking hand in hand, Naruto grinned. I've got a surprise for you. He whisked her away with a teleport, reappearing inside a breathtaking crystal cavern, its walls glittering with multicolored lights. It's beautiful, Itachi whispered. This place is in Suna, discovered it with Gaara. But today I didn't bring you here to train, I brought you to spend Christmas with me, Naruto said, setting up a picnic. She smiled warmly, leaning into him. I wouldn't want it any other way, Foxy-kun. They spent the rest of the day wrapped in each other's company. Before leaving the village, Hokage-sama, I want to take Naruto on a long-term training journey, 3 to 5 years, Itachi said. Hiruzen nodded. Permission granted. Just one thing when he returns, what should I expect? Itachi smirked, her eyes glinting. Expect him to be strong enough to achieve the impossible. With that, she vanished with Naruto at her side. Line break, did Jiji let us go? Itachi asked as soon as she stepped inside. Yep, we're clear to leave right now. Just need to check in with the gate guards and we're free. Naruto's face lit up with excitement. He dashed around the house, grabbing scrolls, then scooped Itachi into his arms. Ignoring the guards' confused stares, he carried her straight into the forest and activated the Hurricane to travel to the cave they had visited last Christmas. As they arrived, Itachi's fingers traced the ring Naruto had given her. It was a promise ring, forged from chakra metal and embedded with a high-purity fire chakra crystal. Etched along its surface were the words, "Together forever, beyond time and space." Her heart thumped every time she glanced at it. A small, silly smile crept onto her lips as she remembered how adorable Naruto had looked when he had presented it to her. Flashback, Naruto-kun, Merry Christmas, Itachi said, unsealing a photo of their first kiss. It had been that Christmas when Naruto had given her her most treasured tanto. Overwhelmed with joy, she had kissed him passionately. The photo was framed in a metal case, with love you always inscribed in sapphires, the same shade as Naruto's eyes when he was genuinely happy. Naruto, teary-eyed, had hugged her tightly, pouring all his emotions into the embrace. After pulling back, Naruto nervously produced a silver ring topped with a red gem resembling a diamond. Its band twisted like intertwining vines, and the gems sparkled endlessly, glowing like a flame in light. Naruto explained that a Hiraishin code was carved beneath the gem, activating if Itachi were ever rendered unconscious by impact, poison, or drugs. The ring also enhanced her fire chakra, boosted her elemental affinity, and served as a secondary chakra reserve rivaling Naruto's own. End flashback, Ida-chan, snap out of it. Time to train, Naruto's voice rang across the cave. Shaking off her daydream, Itachi joined him, ready to begin. 3 years later, so, Higabana, how should we handle this? A youthful voice asked on the road toward Konoha. What do you suggest, Shinigami? A female voice replied, tinged with quiet laughter. I think art is a blast, the childish voice responded, feigning seriousness. Please don't imitate Deidara, stop laughing. I'm serious, she groaned, mock irritation filling her tone. From the trees, a group of bandits licked their lips, eyeing the figure walking past. But before they could react, the wind shifted, and the bandits were dealt with in an instant. Okay, I think we should prank the Hawkage next. Bet he misses my chaos in the village, the playful voice joked. Make it clever, but don't cause too much trouble, all right? The woman replied, her grin breaking the mischief in her tone. Hi, ma'am. They continued on their way without further incident. Later, back in Konoha. Yawn, today's the day Itachi returns with her charge, right? One sleepy Chunin asked. Who? The other replied, equally tired. Itachi and Naruto. Oh, the village has been quiet since he left. Hopefully, he livens things up. A sudden breeze scattered paperwork across their desks. As they tried to grab the sheets, water bombs dropped from above, soaking them, and the papers vanished in smoke. We've been pranked, haven't we? Yep. Welcome back, Naruto. Hokage's office. Hiruzen Sarutobi sat buried in paperwork when a sudden whirlwind tossed everything into chaos. In the center stood two ANBU, half-masked and clad in black with shoulder pads, looking more mischievous than threatening. Guards drew swords immediately, surrounding them. One of the women face-palmed. You had to do this again, didn't you? Whoops, Naruto replied with a grin. But did you see his face? Shock, fear, despair. Yes, but how are you getting us out of this one? They're about to. They can't touch me. Remember that time you melted a bandit's sword just because you were mad? Naruto reminded her. I told you not to bring that up. Now help me get out of this, she huffed. With a few clever adjustments to the ANBU masks, turning them almost clown-like, the situation diffused. Hiruzen peered cautiously through the papers and dust. Naruto, is that you? Yep, but Gigi, why are you doing paperwork yourself? Don't you have shadow clones? Because the purple-haired, cat-masked ANBU threatened my book. Only her shift keeps me from enjoying it. Hiruzen groaned. Moments later, I officially welcome both of you back, Itachi-chan and Naruto. You'll participate in one-on-one, two-on-two, and free-for-all exhibition matches. Any questions? Naruto shot his hand up immediately. You want fatal skills or capture skills? Hiruzen asked, sweat forming on his brow. Non-fatal, please, Naruto pouted. In how many days? 2. Tomorrow for rest, the next to prepare. All right, that's enough for today, time to settle in. Hi, Higabana-chan, sure the bed can handle us. Worst case, we get a new one, it's old anyway. Okay. Let's go, Ida-chan, Naruto exclaimed, and with a swirl of wind, they were gone, leaving the office in quiet chaos once more. Back with Naruto and Itachi. Think Gigi caught our clue? Naruto asked as they soared on a cloud. Maybe, but he's probably too dazed to notice, Itachi murmured, leaning against him. Then which scene should we act out first, my Ida-chan? Naruto teased. Innocence, please, Itachi whispered. The next morning, Hibana-chan, was I a bit too much last night? You know I enjoy it, Arashi. Don't worry, I slept just fine, Itachi replied, her face buried in the pillow. So, what do you want for breakfast? Should I cook, or do you feel like going out, Naru-kun? Itachi asked, still half asleep. Let's eat out. I haven't been to Ikaraku in a while. All right, fine, but don't expect me to let you eat ramen all the time. You need proper nutrition if you want to grow taller, Itachi teased. Naruto pouted in mock offense. And I also want to visit my family today. I've received letters from them since my banishment. They weren't against me, unlike some others, Itachi added thoughtfully. Fugaku, your dad, I get Mikoto, but him. I thought the Uchiha rebellion or massacre would have happened by now, Naruto asked, genuinely curious. Apparently, my father respected my abilities. Though he didn't approve of our relationship, he opposed the council's decision to exile me. They ignored him, which caused him to lose trust in them. My mother convinced him that the council's idea of rebellion was wrong, using my reaction as proof. He reported the council to the Hokage, they were executed, and our family regained honor as respected Uchiha. Phew, Naruto whistled. A lot has changed, I like this version better. Itachi smiled, and they walked hand in hand out of the house toward breakfast. Hokage office, Kakashi, Gai, Kurenai, Yugo, Shikaku, you five have been summoned to prepare for an exhibition match. Your opponents, Uchiha Itachi and Uzumaki Naruto. First match, Kakashi vs Itachi. Second, Shikaku vs Naruto. Third, Gai, Kurenai and Yugo vs Itachi and Naruto. Final match, free-for-all. Any questions? Hi, Hokage-sama, but why is a Jonin facing a Genin? A green Genin at that, Shikaku asked, casually leaning but analyzing everything. Normally, Naruto would face a Chunin, but Itachi called him Chinmoku no Shi and referred to her as Higabana. Those titles are S-ranked in Iwa's bingo books, together, double S-tier, the Hokage explained. Understood, troublesome, Shikaku muttered, already planning strategy. You have tomorrow to prepare, the match is the day after, dismissed. Hi, Hokage-sama. The five Jonin disappeared in synchronized movements. Ikaraku ramen stand Tuchioji. One more bowl, Naruto shouted from behind his bowl, stacks of empty dishes piled high beside him. Itachi calmly finished her modest 5 bowls and nudged him, signaling she was ready to leave. Naruto gave a nod, polished off his last bowl and pulled out his wallet, Gemma-chan to pay. See you next time, Naruto. I will be around, I'm sure, Tuche laughed. Naruto groaned as they left, hurrying him along. So, who do you want to visit first? Naruto asked as they walked. Sasuke is probably at the academy. I should see my mother first. Father is likely still at work, Itachi replied. Naruto felt a nervous sweat break out. He'd been with Itachi for years but never met her family. He had assumed it would be easy since she was cast out, but now he realized he had to survive this family introduction like any other boyfriend. What's wrong, Naru-kun? Itachi noticed his pale, anxious expression. Nothing, he replied, forcing a laugh. Itachi raised an eyebrow knowingly. Oh, you're nervous about meeting my mom. Don't worry, she won't bite. She teased and gave him a quick peck before leading him to the Uchiha household. Okasan, we're here, Itachi called from the doorstep. Naruto followed nervously. So, you must be the Naruto-kun I've heard so much about, Mikoto said, scrutinizing him up and down. Doesn't look like much, she added with a faint scoff. Naruto tensed, ready to defend himself, but then Mikoto's shoulders shook with quiet laughter. What's so funny? He asked, confused. Oh gosh, Kushina. Your son really does act like you, Mikoto laughed harder. Naruto's embarrassment deepened as he scratched the back of his head. Okasan, maybe that's enough. Itachi tried, though a small smile tugged at her lips. All right. Welcome to the Uchiha household, Naruto-kun. I was close to your mother back in the day, Mikoto said, growing thoughtful. Thank you for inviting me in. I'd love to hear more about her, Naruto bowed respectfully. No need for the Sama call me Okasan. You've made my daughter happy and that's what matters, Mikoto said warmly. Hi Okasan, Naruto replied, eyes slightly misty. Beware though Fugaku will test you. And Sasuke, Mikoto's words were interrupted as the door burst open. Okasan, you stole my sister, give her back, Sasuke shouted, lunging at Naruto. Can we talk? Naruto tried to reason. No, Sasuke continued, swinging wildly. Naruto dodged effortlessly as Itachi facepalmed. Enough! Itachi's rare shriek froze both boys. Naruto-kun, take my Aototo to his room. I'll talk to him later. Naruto rendered Sasuke unconscious with one gentle strike to the back of the head and carried him away. Well, that was eventful, Mikoto commented, sipping tea. Why didn't you warn me, and what's in that tea? Itachi asked, frustrated. My dear daughter grew up too fast, then you started spending time with Naruto-kun. Your father and I were shocked. He even said, how could she have a boyfriend? Then the council's interference. It wasn't easy, Mikoto explained, sipping again. When we learned about the seal on your Sharingan, we were furious and hopeful. Naruto-kun helped unlock your eternal Mangekyo Sharingan without bloodshed. Truly miraculous, she said, smiling at Itachi. If Fugaku objects, he can't now. But don't give away your method, Naruto-kun, Mikoto added. The Uchiha are strong enough without it. If EMS falls into the wrong hands, countries may declare war, Naruto said seriously. True, Itachi agreed. From the doorway, a deep voice called, what don't I like? Adu-san, they said together. Naruto stepped forward. I helped Itachi-chan evolve her Sharingan safely. I cannot disclose the method. It may upset the balance of nations. Fugaku studied him. Very well, I will arrange her reinstatement. Welcome back, Itachi. Your strength will benefit the clan. As Fugaku left, Mikoto stood. Dinner soon, will you stay? Itachi nodded, but Naruto shook his head vehemently. Mikoto understood. Next time then, come back soon, Naruto-kun. I have stories about your mother, she said warmly. Hi, Ka-san, they replied, leaving. Outside, Naruto's stomach growled embarrassingly. Looks like we skipped lunch, Itachi giggled. Where to eat? Naruto asked. Let's try that place. She pointed to a golden green building. The exotic oasis, Naruto asked. Yep, she confirmed. Inside, they saw many shinobi chatting. Yo, Itachi, Kakashi called. Naruto and Itachi froze. Am I seeing things? Naruto whispered. My Sharingan can't detect a genjutsu here, she muttered. Kakashi gestured, come sit. It's just unusual seeing you five together socially, Naruto admitted. We wouldn't normally, Kurenai said. Hokage-sama assigned us a mission. Really, what mission needs all five of you? Naruto asked. Confidential, Shikaku interrupted. Food's here, let's eat. Dinner was quiet, save for Naruto's curiosity about Guy's silence and Kakashi's book.